It is 4 a.m. Your eyes are burning. You have work in 3 hours, but you cannot put the controller down. Today, we are looking at the 19 most dangerous games on PlayStation. These aren't just hobbies, guys. These are lifestyle choices that will absolutely destroy your sleep schedule. Let's get it.
Together for managed democracy.
Together for victory.
Together for liberty.
Together for liberty.
Together, they fight for freedom. Will you?
We are kicking this off with the biggest viral hit of the year. Helldivers 2 isn't just a shooter, it's a global obsession. Arrowhead dropped this game and it immediately took over the internet. The hook here is the community warfare. You aren't just grinding for XP, you are fighting a literal galactic war alongside millions of other players. When a major order drops, the entire player base locks in. The gameplay is pure chaos, calling in orbital strikes, blowing up bugs, and accidentally taking out your squad mates. It's loud, it's explosive, and it gives you that hero moment dopamine hit every single match. You hop on for one mission and suddenly you've been spreading democracy for 6 hours straight.
Hi everybody! Thank you for inviting me to your viewing, Morgana. I can't... Wait, you said you liberated it?
And I can't wait to show it off! Let's dive into the latest, greatest world of Persona!
What a blast! Although I do have a question. What exactly is a persona?
If you want an addiction that burns slow, Persona 5 Royal is the undisputed king. This is a 100-hour anime life simulator that will completely hijack your brain. You play as a high school student in Tokyo who moonlights as a phantom thief. The addiction is a daily grind. Every single day in-game matters. You have limited time after school. Do you hit the gym? Do you study? Or do you hang out with your friends to level up your confident rank? It triggers that FOMO perfectly. You become obsessed with optimizing your schedule. And the style? The music, the menus, the combat. It is the slickest JRPG ever made. By the time you hit the 80-hour mark, these characters feel like your actual best friends. Soccer with cars. It sounds dumb. It is actually the most sweaty, high-skill, competitive game on the planet. Rocket League is pure physics. There's no aim assist to save you here. The addiction comes from the skill ceiling. When you start, you are just driving around aimlessly, but then you learn to fly. Then you learn to dribble. Then you learn to hit ceiling shots. The feeling of getting better is tangible. You can watch a replay from a month ago and see how much you've evolved. Matches are only 5 minutes long, which is the ultimate trap. You say one more game after a loss to redeem yourself, and one more game after a win to keep the streak alive. It never ends.
The lands between is ruled by great heroes. Those who have inherited the blood of Queen Marika the Eternal.
Someone must extinguish thy flame.
This is the game that ruined open world for everyone else. Elden Ring doesn't hold your hand. It drops you in Limgrave, points at a giant golden tree and says, "Good luck, Bo." The addiction is pure discovery. There are no map markers telling you where to go. If you see a castle on a cliff, you have to figure out how to get there. And when you do, you find a dungeon that leads to an elevator that takes you down to an entire underground city. It constantly rewards your curiosity with insane weapons and bosses that will stomp you into the dirt. The combat loop of dying, learning, and finally winning is the best feeling in gaming. It respects your time by giving you a world that is actually worth exploring.
realize what kind of world you've been shaping? Does the ICA? Does your handler? I live in that world.
This isn't a stealth game. It's a puzzle game where the puzzle is murder. IO Interactive combines all 3 modern Hitman games into one massive package, and the replayability is infinite. The addiction is the sandbox freedom. You drop into a level like Paris or Dubai, and you have 50 different ways to take out your target. You can drop a chandelier on them, poison their drink, push them off a balcony, or dress up as a runway model and shoot them on the catwalk. The game constantly taunts you with challenges. Can you do it without changing your suit? Can you do it with a rubber duck explosive? It forces you to master the clockwork AI. And then there's Freelancer mode, which turns the game into a roguelike where if you die, you lose all your gear. It raises the stakes and makes every run feel terrifyingly important. Do not let the cute pixel art fool you. Stardew Valley is a ruthlessly efficient dopamine factory. You quit your soul-crushing corporate job to run a farm, but you end up working harder here than you ever did at the office. The hook is the just one more day syndrome. The days are short, about 15 minutes. You wake up, check your crops, pet your chickens, maybe go mining. But then you realize you need 500 gold to buy a backpack upgrade. So you fish until midnight. Then you realize the parsnips are ready tomorrow, so you sleep to see the harvest. Then you unlock the community center bundles. It never ends. It taps into that part of your brain that loves checking things off a to-do list. You start sketching crop layouts in real life. It's relaxing, sure, but it will absolutely dominate your schedule.
Push back the darkness. Guardians are fighting on Earth and beyond. Join them.
6 of us went down into the pit. In the end, they all bowed before me. We have slain his brood. We have murdered his son. And now the Taken King comes for us all.
Love it or hate it, you cannot deny that Bungie made the crispest first-person shooter on the market. Destiny 2 is built on a foundation of perfect gunplay. Shooting a hand cannon and hearing that headshot pop is satisfying every single time. The addiction is the god roll chase. You aren't just looking for a gun, you're looking for the gun. You want the Fatebringer with explosive payload and Firefly. You will run the same raid 50 times just to get it. And when it finally drops, the rush is unmatched. Then you have the raids, 6-player puzzles that require intense communication. Beating a raid boss with your squad at 2 a.m. creates a bond that most other multiplayer games can't touch. It's a live service game that demands your attention, and if you fall behind, the FOMO, fear of missing out, hits hard.
You're a shifling.
I will sniff out the very finest stones.
Judging by their glow, they're the real thing.
And I just want to slay yokai. Nothing more, nothing less. Next time I see that thing, it'll taste my blade.
Imagine if Dark Souls had a baby with Diablo, and that baby was a ninja. That is Nioh 2. It's an action RPG that is obsessed with loot and complexity. The addiction is to build crafting. In other Souls-likes, you find a sword and use it for 20 hours. In Nioh 2, loot rains from the sky like confetti. You are constantly swapping out gear to get plus 1% melee damage, or plus 2% key recovery. The combat system is ridiculously deep. You have 3 stances, high, mid, low. You have key pulses to regain stamina, and you have yokai abilities. Mastering the key pulse feels like learning a rhythm game inside a fighting game. It's fast, it's punishing, and watching your character turn into a literal demon to shred a boss is the ultimate power fantasy. This isn't just a racing game, guys. It is a car collection cult. Polyphony Digital created a simulator that is obsessed with perfection, and it forces you to be obsessed too. The addiction is the gold license chase. The license tests are absolutely brutal. You have to take a specific hairpin turn in a specific car within a specific time. You will fail by 0.001 seconds. You will restart instantly. You will do this 50 times in a row until your muscle memory is perfect. And when you finally see that gold trophy pop, the relief is insane. Then there's the cafe menu loop, collecting iconic Japanese sports cars, tuning the engines, painting them, and showing them off online. It taps into that primal urge to just own cool stuff. We cannot talk about addiction without mentioning the game that tricked millions of people into loving roguelikes. Hades is a masterpiece of design. You play as Zagreus, trying to escape hell, and you will die. A lot. The addiction is the narrative loop. In other games, dying sucks. In Hades, dying is how you advance the plot. You wash up in the river Styx, walk back into the house of Hades, and everyone has something new to say. Your dad mocks you, your friends encourage you, and you unlock permanent upgrades at the Mirror of Night. The combat is snappy, combining different boons from the Greek gods to create absolutely broken builds. But it's the just one more run to see what happens next mentality that keeps you playing until sunrise.
To wake you. Seeds from the ruins of the...
This is arguably the best free-to-play game on the market, period. Warframe is a space ninja simulator where you commit war crimes for loot. It is fast, it is flashy, and it has more content than most $70 games combined. The addiction is the ultimate power fantasy. You start as a weak Excalibur frame. 500 hours later, you are a god of death, nuking entire rooms of enemies with a single button press, while bullet jumping across the map at Mach 2. The grind is real. You need blueprints, resources, and mods. But the movement system is so fluid that simply moving through the levels feels amazing. And the trading market, it's a game in itself. You can farm rare parts, sell them to other players for premium currency, and buy cosmetics without spending a dime. It's an entire economy of addiction.
I have not come to save, but to empower. I will give you freedom and more.
Today we fight true in his holy name.
The time of prophecy has come, knights. We march on hell!
Blizzard knows exactly how to hijack your brain chemistry. Diablo IV is the ultimate podcast game. You don't need to think too hard, you just need to click on demons and watch them explode into loot. The addiction is number go up. You are constantly chasing that 1% damage increase. You find a rare item, upgrade it to a legendary, imprint an aspect on it, and suddenly your necromancer is spawning an army of skeletons that delete bosses in seconds. The Paragon board adds a layer of complexity that keeps you tweaking your build for hours. The sound of a legendary item dropping, that specific ding, is Pavlovian. You hear it and your brain releases the happy chemicals. It is simple, effective, and dangerous.
Aspect might reveal itself. The icon. Every delay brings us closer to disaster. We must move now.
This game essentially defies the laws of physics. It launched, they failed, they blew it up, and rebuilt it into the single best MMORPG on the planet. Final Fantasy XIV is not a game, it is a lifestyle choice. The addiction is the social ecosystem. Yes, the story is god tier, Shadowbringers will make you cry, but the real hook is the community. You log into Raid, but you end up spending 4 hours at a player-run nightclub showing off your new outfit. The glamour system is the true endgame. You run dungeons not for stats, but for a jacket that looks slightly cooler than your current jacket. And with a graphics update, the world looks so good, you genuinely don't want to log out.
Heading towards White Shadow Broadcast. I have found a deceased Astra Scout here. Checking identification on a helmet. It's...
This is the hardest addiction to explain because it hurts. Returnal is a bullet hell roguelike that demands absolute perfection. You play as Celine, stuck in a time loop, and the game does not care about your feelings. The addiction is the flow state. The movement is insane. Dashing through projectiles, grappling hooks, feeling the rain through the DualSense haptics. When you are in the zone, you feel untouchable, but the second you mess up, you die and restart. The mystery keeps you coming back. What is the White Shadow? Why is the house there? Every run gives you a tiny crumb of the story, and the gameplay is so slick that you instantly hit restart cycle even after a heartbreaking defeat. If Hades is the gateway drug, Isaac is the hard stuff. This game looks like a messed up cartoon, but it has more depth than 99% of AAA games. The addiction is the synergy system. There are over 700 items. One run, you have laser eyes. The next, you have a swarm of flies protecting you. The next, you shoot knives that explode. The combinations are literally endless. You can play for 1,000 hours and still see a weapon interaction you've never seen before. It taps into that slot machine part of your brain. Maybe this next run will be the broken one. Maybe this next item room has the Godhead. It is infinite replayability. Motion Twin created the perfect 2D action game. Dead Cells is fast, fluid, and violent. It's a Metroidvania roguelite, meaning you explore a massive shifting castle that changes every time you die. The addiction is the combat crunch, smashing a door open to stun an enemy, freezing them with a bow, and then shattering them with a giant hammer just feels correct. The developers have supported this game for years. There's Castlevania DLC, Terraria crossovers, you name it. There's always a new weapon to unlock or a new biome to explore. It's the definition of tough but fair, and once you get the rhythm down, you feel like a speed-running god.
Got one that just passed me. It looks like we got 3 more in the hallway. They're reinforcing the kids' room, north wall. Right there, they're blocking the master bedroom.
I got one, ground level. Looks like he's blocking the main entrance.
Oh, I see the hostage. She's in the kids' room. They're barricading all the windows.
Most shooters are about twitch reflexes. Siege is about anxiety. This is a 5v5 tactical shooter where the map itself is the weapon. You can blow holes in walls, smash through ceilings, and barricade doors. The addiction is the knowledge gap. You will get destroyed for your first 50 hours. You won't even know where you died from. But then you learn. you learn a pixel peek. You learn how to use a specific operator's gadget to trap the enemy. And when you win a round because you outsmarted the other team, not just outgunned them, that feeling is unmatched. It's chess with shotguns. And once it clicks, every other shooter feels boring. This is the game that finally broke through to the West. Monster Hunter World is basically a boss rush game. There are no trash mobs. You prep, you eat a massive meal, you track a dinosaur, and then you fight it for 20 minutes. The addiction is the crafting loop. You kill a Rathalos to make a hat out of its face, but then you need the matching pants, so you kill it again. Then you realize armor sets have skills, so you need to farm a different monster to get a better sword to kill the first monster faster. It's a cycle of constant improvement. With 14 different weapon types, from the great sword to the insect glaive, learning a new weapon feels like learning a completely different game. It is dangerously engaging. We end with the most dangerous game on this list. Balatro is poker, but broken. It's a roguelike deck builder where you cheat. You play poker hands to score points, but you use joker cards to modify the rules. The addiction is the big number dopamine hit. One joker might give you a multiplier for every face card. Another might give you extra chips for playing hearts. You start scoring 500 points a hand, then 5,000, then 5 million.